come along and go through all of my UFOs that I found in those boxes right before Christmas. And let's come up with a plan for tackling UFOs in 2026. Care to join me? Hey, this is Tracy in editing mode. I wanted to let you know that as I was editing this video over the weekend, it was quite longer than I was expecting. So what I decided to do was I ran a poll and asked whether or not you wanted the full 40+ minute video, or if you wanted me to cut it into 2 parts that were about 20 minutes long, or if you just didn't want any of the eye candy that I'm showing you in this video. And surprisingly, no one voted for the last one. And it was about 80-20 as of this moment on proceeding with the full video. I also learned that in cross-stitch world, there's a thing called a WIP parade that can last well over an hour long in a video. And it's just people talking about the projects, what they're doing, what they're, where they are in the project and all of that, which I thought was kind of cool. So welcome to the WIP parade, people. If you do not want to sit through an entire 40-minute long video, you can either take a break and come back to it later, or I drop the timestamps below. You can skip to the end where I talk about what my plan is for 2026 going forward and why I've made the choices that I've made working on my UFOs. You might appreciate it because you might be like me and need certain accommodations as you go forward through 2026 working on your UFOs. So, timestamp is below. You can skip ahead, or you can watch all of the delicious eye candy of the UFOs that I found and decided to do a little walkthrough of. Now, also, I wanted to challenge all of you to do what I'm doing, which is this week, spend time with a pad of paper and go through your UFOs, write down their name, maybe whatever pertinent information you need is. Like I put down the size of the project and where I was in it. If it needed just a border, I put down that it needed just a border. Or if it just needed to be quilted and finished, then I put down quilted and finished. So there you go. So let's get to the eye candy already. So as you can see, I started my list by transferring all of the remaining projects from my previous writing down the UFO video, and I transferred them to this one sheet so that I have them all in one place. I basically wrote down the name of the quilt, what size it was, and in this case, top done, or the top done needs borders, that kind of thing. Just a little bit of a note. And I've left off with the projects that are already on this list. What I am going to do from here out is I am actually going to go through some of my other projects with you, show you a few of them, and at the end, I'll count up how many I've got. I'm too afraid to count them as of now. So the first project that I found in that box was this one. It is a trip around the world that I was using Bonnie Hunter's technique for using jelly rolls and making it scrappy. And you make strip sets, turn them into tubes, and then separate them where you want to create the diagonal pattern. So I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks done. Oh gosh. Okay, I found another UFO. If this doesn't belong with this set, I'm just going to set it aside for now and I'll show it to you in a minute. And then I've got some random strip sets that I'm not sure where they are. Maybe some partials that I pulled apart, but then I actually put all of the bundles like this so that I can go through and make a block, and I clip them together. So, all right, well, I'll write down how many blocks we've got. I'll try and put it back a little bit neatly so that they don't get all wrinkled. call that a Scrappy Trip. And that one I think was a Camille Russ Kelly design. I don't remember how big that one was going to be. I'm just going to say some blocks done because I don't remember. I kind of think it's bigger than a throw or a twin. I think it's maybe a full size. Okay, so this one that was inside of it. I still remember exactly what happened with this one. So I've got an entire beautiful little picnic basket filled with all of these fabrics. They're all art gallery. When I was working at Golden Peak Media, at the time I think it was F&W Media, all of the editors, well, actually all of the employees at the magazines were allowed to pick a quilt project for McCall's I Love This Quilt. It was the back page of the issue, in every single issue where we chose a quilt that was from a previous issue, and we were able to request fabrics and come up with some sort of different twist on it, whether it was using newer fabrics or changing up the colors. Now in this case, the pattern actually had a white background and all of these pretty scrappy colors, but I decided that I was going to do navy blue as the background and then make the background scrappy as well. And the thing that hung me up about this pattern was the way that it asked you to do the flying geese units. Rather than doing them stitch and flip, they had you do them 4 at a time, and you still made them scrappy that way. And at the time I was relatively new to that technique and I really hated it. And I really didn't like the results I was getting. As you can see, like this point is cut off, but this one's a little bit short. I don't remember if that was, I'm guessing that it's not on purpose because this one's actually perfect, but whatever, I really hated it. So I put the fabrics back in a basket and I left it. But I really do love the fabrics in this one, so I think I might add it to the list anyway. I would just rather figure out the size that I need for these and then do stitch and flip instead. That's easy enough to do. So we're gonna call this, I don't know, that's just a Sawtooth star, Scrappy Sawtooth star. I don't even know if I still have the magazine issue. I'm just gonna put one block done. I feel like that can be a ongoing project. Okay, some other things I found in this box were some random blocks. I don't know what to do with these. They're super pretty. I did not make them. These are leftovers from magazine issues where we were showing a different color option. And I thought they were really pretty. No one else wanted them, so I grabbed them. I don't think I'm going to add this to the list because I just don't know what to do with these. So I'll put them aside. Maybe I'll hang them up on the wall for some pretty color or something. They're a little bit small for pillows. Although maybe I could use it for that Tootsie warmer I was talking about in the last video when I was talking about the project I wanted to make for my mother-in-law. This would be great for that. One of those would be really pretty for it because that's what the designer did, was she made a pillow with a block like this. So, all right, I'm gonna put those aside. Okay, this one I love. I'm gonna make sure that I get a good picture of it. I'll scroll through. So this one was the project that I made for, you can see all the papers are still in it, but I folded it so it's a little bit crumpled. This was for Love of Quilting. We had 2 guests get COVID the year that I did this, and I stepped in to fill in for one of the previously scheduled guests, and I showed how to do hexagons by machine. And so I really love how this came out. This is using some Tim Holtz fabric. It really just needs to be finished. So I'm definitely gonna write this one because I'd like to finish this one soon. So I might add this to like the top of the list because it just needs to be quilted, and then I'll figure out how I want to finish it. I do want to leave the edges like this. So I don't know if that's going to be a facing. My friend Terry suggested doing like an envelope style, except putting a little slit in the middle of it to turn it through and then covering that with a label, which might be a good idea. I don't know. So we will put that down as EPP table runner. And I'm going to say quilted and needs to be quilted, and I should have put needs to be quilted and finished. All right. So that one's pretty. I apologize that I'm clearing my throat. All right, I've got a few more of those work-related projects. This one also was a table runner. I just wanted to practice my quilting on this. This has such really dynamic lines. I might put these just in a separate pile since they really aren't my UFOs. They're just random projects that I could potentially finish. Oh gosh, they're just so cute. So this is also a table runner. Some really pretty fabrics. Sorry if I'm getting into the camera. Like I said, I think I might put those in a separate pile. Oh, and this one I just loved. I don't know how big it is. It's pretty big. It's like a wall hanging or a baby quilt. Oops, sorry. Like a baby quilt. I'm gonna put this one down just because I like having some baby quilts that are ready. I'm gonna put like this, these two, they're babies up here. I'm gonna put this one as, I don't know what that pattern is called. It's some kind of like box. I'm gonna put black and white, or black and brights. Box baby quilt. Top finished, because I just want to have it on my list in case there's an emergency baby. You know how those come along sometimes, and I can just quilt it and finish it. Those are especially good when you don't really know the people so well, but you want to give them something. And then I think I showed this one once before. This one was done by someone on our staff as a color option. Let's see if I can kind of scroll through. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and drop it in instead. And this is like a really beautiful table topper or wall hanging. Also not mine, so I'm just going to put it in that pile with the other work things. Okay, so, all right, so we have some fun projects over here. I've made a mess in my workspace. Let's fix everything up again. Okay. All right. So I use these Iris, I'll show you this way. So these Iris scrapbooking totes. Whenever I find them, I grab them. This one, I obviously was like a cute Hello Kitty version. I love Hello Kitty, so, oh my goodness. Okay, so this one I got when I lived in Golden. It came pre-cut, and so I fused everything down. If I remember correctly, it's got a border. So this is the border. I don't really love the border, and I think that's why it's not done. I don't know if I want to just add a plain border or if I just want to frame it as is, because it is sort of, I think it's kind of cute that it's almost, I don't know how big this is, but it's almost like a 12 by 12, which would be like record size. It's probably, I'm trying to feel, it's probably 12.5 by 12.5. So it might actually be record size, and I think that's a cute idea for a little wall hanging. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is. It looks like I still have a few musical notes that I didn't use. Oh, and I got some cute little row by row things in here. So that's adorable. But what else is in here? Oh my gosh, this is part of my world's oldest UFO. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Well, it technically is. These are the fabrics for the world's oldest UFO, which is a shaded 9 patch. But at one point, I decided I just really hated the project and I wanted to finish it. Oh my gosh, there are blocks in here. I just wanted to do sort of an improv thing. It was like the height of like the modern quilting movement. And I decided I was going to make a whole bunch of things. Oh gosh, so I've got these random blocks that don't really match. So we've got a log cabin, half of a, I don't remember what that block was called. I think I was taking a class on craftsy. This is a Jacob's ladder. I really wanted to sort of turn it into this. My husband disagreed because he really liked the shaded 9 patch of the original pattern. But I used a bunch of these fabrics. Yeah, I added in some newer things to the mix, and he really hated these whites. But this were all of the original. This one for sure, were part of the original collection of fabrics that we chose. And I don't know if I feel like the colors are dated or not. So, but I think I just want to finish it and get it over with. But I don't know what I'm going to do with all these blocks though now. So we'll see how many random blocks. So I already put the world's oldest UFO onto my list. So I don't have to count this one, but I do have to count this Red Rocks one. So I'm going to add that one to the list. Put it like that, yes. Put that over here. Okay, let's see. Red Rocks. I'm just gonna put border question mark. That's fine. Okay, this one I definitely showed before. These were blocks that I had made using the Creative Grids. Let's see, the Creative Grids. I have all the other Creative Grids rulers in here. Pineapple trim tools, 2 different sizes. So I made little blocks and then bigger blocks, and then ones with 2 different sizes of the ruler. So this part here is the smaller ruler, and this part here is the larger ruler. And I had loads of fun playing with that. Oh, and then I did that one, which was a snail's trail block. And all of that is done with that ruler. It makes it really easy. And I think I'm going to put this on my list because I do have a different fabric collection that I thought would be really pretty with this. So even though it's not in this case, I'm going to write it down because I'll know what I'm talking about, because it's just a bucket list design that I really want to do. Pineapple. Pineapple quilts. We'll just put bucket list. Okay, I'll know that one. All right, this isn't quite a UFO. I already know what this one is. This is a kit that I bought, and I think this needs to go on a different thing. So I've got all the pretty fabrics, a black background, and this was a cutie collection project that was designed by Debbie Brown, who's a friend of mine. So I bought this kit from her, and I definitely want to make, oh, I should show you. This is what the quilt looks like. It's really pretty with the jewel tones and the dark background. So this is definitely on my list to still make. I like it a lot, but it's not a UFO. I haven't started it. So I think that just needs to go on a different list. All right, this one I'm not sure what to do with. Really don't know. The pattern was $25 like 10 years ago probably, and it's for a tool tote bag. So it looks like this, and it's got little spaces to put stuff in, or your tools to bring on a retreat. Not that I've ever gone on a retreat, but you know, it's got your tools. And I loved the pattern because it gave you these little things, so that I cut out all of the pieces and then you pin these things to it, and they give you enough for everything. And what I love about this was the fabric I picked. I bought linen. I bought Ruby Star Society linen. Though I'm trying to think if this was actually Ruby Star, if they were, I think it's Ruby Star, because I don't think that they did linen, but when they were cotton and steel. But anyway, the fabric is gorgeous. I mean, really, really, it's going to be beautiful. And I would like to make this. I've got everything I need in here, the zipper, everything. Lining fabrics, thread, everything. I don't know why I've got Gutermann thread, but oh, you know what? This is probably elastic thread or something like that. Yes, it's elastic thread. Okay, so I've got everything I need. Oh gosh, oh no, this is too also. Oh, shoot. That's why there's elastic thread, because it was for the washi dress. Huh. I put fabric in. I got some muslin to test out the pattern. Gosh, I don't even know if this would even fit me right now. Well, it should. It should. That's fine. Okay, so now I've got to put 2 in here. Got another UFO and a UFO. Although that one's not a UFO because I haven't started it, right? But I should mark down where it is if I feel so inclined towards the spring, which I definitely will feel inclined. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to put it down on the list. Okay, so I'm going to put this down as the Quilts Illustrated tool bag. Oops, Quilts Illustrated tote bag, cut out, washi dress. Same tote. Okay. All right, and then this one. Do you guys remember this? Oh gosh, this is so much fun to make. And this pattern is actually free now. So if any of you are interested in doing a sew along, maybe we work on this together because it is so much fun. You choose a background fabric, and I chose, let's see, I chose this Kona charm square pack that was like ombre so that I could do light to dark, so daytime to nighttime. And the pattern is super easy. It's totally fun. You need 2 charm squares. Well, you mix and match. So you cut up a whole bunch of the bottoms here, this part of the house. And then you make roofs with 2 other charm squares. And then this block lock, which I don't know which size this one is. Don't remember. This, 2.5 by 5 block lock is actually, let's see if I can put it on a white piece of paper. Here we go. There we go. You use this to trim up the roof and it makes it perfect, which, you know, I really like it when it's perfect. And I've got such cute fabrics. I had a whole bunch of Heather Ross in here. I put in all of these adorable little squares. I think a friend of mine gave me all of these squares and I was planning to use them in here. Yes. Go Kim. She sent me a whole bunch of fussy cut little squares, and I must have tucked them in here thinking that they might fit for the door, but technically they don't really. So anyway, and I've got a bunch of the bases done, and oh, look at this. Gosh darn it. Look how cute. I just used all of these charm packs that I would get at market. When we would go to Quilt Market, the fabric companies used to give us little charm packs of some of the future collections just as sort of to remember. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's upside down because it's got the little frog. But so adorable, my goodness. So I think I need to make a bunch of roofs. This was one of those projects that was one of those that when I just felt like sitting down to sew, but I didn't necessarily want to work on anything in particular, I would just play with this. And I used to hang them up on my design wall so that they would inspire me. So I'll definitely put this down. Village Quilt. Okay, so this is a small table topper that I had made for that Love of Quilting episode. It just needs the edges to be whip stitched closed. So I wrote it down as EPP Halloween table topper, sew edges. That'll be easy enough to finish. And I showed this one in the last episode. It was a sample from work, and I grabbed it because I thought it was really pretty and I'd like to finish it for next Christmas. I wrote that one down as Christmas table topper, quilt, and finish. Okay, these are pieces parts
of a quilt that I was making when I worked at Keepsake Quilting. We had a bunch of this MLB fabric, and we were trying to come up with a way to sell it. And I found a pattern from Fabric Cafe that was one of those 3-yard quilts. And I've got about 6 of the main blocks done and a bunch of the other pieces done. So I just wrote this down as Red Sox throw, 6 blocks, and I am hoping that I still have this book around somewhere. Okay, this one also was a project that I did while I was working at Keepsake. I showed a technique for doing hourglass blocks using pre-cuts. So these smaller ones are done with charm squares, and the larger ones are done with layer cakes. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that. I had an idea that they would be nice, but the big blocks are really kind of big. And I think I just happened to find a pattern on YouTube this morning that might actually work. So I might disappear them, if you know what I mean. So I'm just writing down brights and black hourglass project question mark, because we will figure that out later.
Oh my goodness, I just found a doozy. So here's the pattern. And for those of you who used to listen to the Quilt and Tell podcast, these are all of my 50th birthday blocks that are all signed by designers that I used to work with and colleagues and friends. And so I've got Geraldine Wilkins made 2. This one was from Catherine Redford, Terry Lucas, Victoria Finley Wolf, Gina Gepsaw, Morna McEver-Gallitz. I'm sure I'm butchering her name. This is from Mary Kay Davis. Let's see, who's this one from? To the most amazing and caring woman I know. And I can't read the handwriting. Happy 50th. I'm sure I'll think of who that is. Oh, this is from Natalie Santini. Oh my gosh, she signed her name like in the, I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to make sure that you can see her name. Lisa Chin, Barbara Eichmeyer, Valley Schiller. Oh, Valley is I used to live near Valley, and she's such a talented quilter. Linda Nitson, she worked for Sizzix. Oh, Alex Anderson. She put a little black cat. When I was on the quilt show, I had little potato chip fabric, and there was one with little cats on it, and I gave it to her. Not remembering that she just really likes cat fabric. Let's see. Scott Hansen. Let's see. Melissa Thompson Marr. I worked with her and Jen Q. Galen Runge. She's from, she did a little heart in the middle. She's from C&T Publishing. Kimberly Einmo. Elaine Terrio. Tara Riley. Lots of cats in this one. Reed. Blue Bear Quilting. I think that's his name of his company. Oh, Joe Maury. Oh my gosh, Joe Maury was the best. So talented. Oh, let's see. Tavi Umhe. I don't know if I pronounced her name right. Abby Dollinger. I worked with Abby almost every issue. Connie Kaufman. Bev Getchell. These are all people that I don't know if you necessarily know their names. Ramona Sorensen. Ramona was prolific in almost every issue. Jen Daly was also almost every issue. Trisha Patterson was our editor. Mary Hurdle. Denise Stark was my editorial director when I was leaving. Eileen Fowler was an editor too. Lori Baker, of course. Ginger. I like that Ginger and Lori together. They're going to have to be close to each other in the quilt. Genevieve Huck. She was one of my coworkers as well. She was a graphic designer. Kelly was also worked for us. She was our artistic assistant. Vivica Denegri. Sharon Parcel, Charisma Horton, Patty Carey, Anissa Arnold. She was one of our editors as well. All right, this one's going to be like find the name. I don't think they signed it. Kim Lepasic, Jenny Doan. I forgot that Jenny sent me one. Shelley Pollyi, she's an amazing quilter. Lynn Harris, oh, Lynn, she does beautiful work. Carrie Goulder, Teresa Coates, you might know her from Shannon Fabrics. She now has her own business called Crinkle Dreams. Kelly Ashton, it's the Kelly Ashton who's a quilter and not the one who's works for Handy Quilter. This is Annette. She was one of my coworkers as well. Mary Abreu. Ugh, Mary. Mary's a fantastic costume designer. Nancy Mahoney. Vicki Timson. I used to work with Vicki at Generation Q. Roxanne Serta. She works at C&T. Keenan White and Shannon Allen. They're my kiddos. Keenan is my adopted kiddo. Karen Akfa, she's a German designer. Latifa Safir. Oh, I got a couple of little, because it's Jenny K. Parks and she always makes the extra little triangles from the cutoffs. Jackie Kunkel, Chrisanne Watkins, Emily Bailey, Rose Hughes, and Ebony Love. So there you go. So I'm now 55 years old and these are still not together. Although I will say that, you know, it would have been nice to actually receive a finished quilt instead of a project, an unfinished project for my birthday, but that just seems appropriate somehow. Anywho, okay, that was a lot. I know. And quite honestly, it's not even all of them because I looked down again and I found another one, which is just really an ongoing project. I don't even know that I want to add it to the list. So we're just sticking with the list where we are. And are you ready for the tabulation? According to my list, which is 2 pages, luckily not too far into the second page, I have 28 UFOs. 31. There are 31 projects that I found so far. So, I know there are lots of different ways to tackle UFOs, and a lot of people have great success with them. If you are one of the people who doesn't really have success with choosing 12 and picking a number out of a hat and working on that project in a month, maybe that's too boring, or maybe it really breaks it down further and you are like me in that you struggle because you don't know what your life is going to be from day to day, let alone from month to month. I have flares of RA. I work full time. I have a YouTube channel I have to do, and I take care of my youngest who still lives with us, and she's got several chronic illnesses and is disabled. That's a lot to handle. And my sewing space is my sanctuary. It is where I come to have fun. And I don't want this to be work, right? I don't want to work on a project that's frustrated me. And that's why I put it aside. And I don't want to work on that for an entire month. So here's the way I think I want to tackle it. Part of the reason that I got into this mess, just a small part, was that there was a period of time where I was not diagnosed with having autoimmune disease, and I was struggling like crazy. I wasn't on any good medications to control it. And so I went into flares frequently, and they weren't even treating me with like steroids to get me out of a flare like they kind of do now. So the way that I worked that back then was that I had several projects going in different stages. So if I had a good day and I could cut, I would work on something new. If I had a day where I was feeling awful and I just really needed something I didn't need to think about, I worked on that. And I had a project that a little bin that I could put right next to the sewing machine, and I could just stitch and have something on in the background, like a TV show or a movie, and just zone out and work like that. I kind of want to do something like that in this situation. What I think I'm going to do from here is I am going to use my UFO tracker that I created, and I am going to write down all of the projects on one sheet for each project. I am going to write where I've left off. I'm going to put any notes on the bottom. And then as the year progresses, I am going to look through my binder. I'm going to put it all in a 3-ring binder. And when I want to work on something, I'm going to pull it out and work on it. My hope is that each week I can drop a video with my progress or something I'm working on or something fun, like I do. And then I want to also schedule a few live sewing times where you can join me live on an evening or maybe a Saturday, and you can sew along with me and chat with me as we work on things. I also really want this channel to be something that I need, which is when I am in a flare and feeling really bad and in pain, I still have this really intense creative urge because I am struggling so much. I really just want to do something fun. And sometimes that means that I just watch YouTube. I watch other quilters making things, and that sort of fulfills a little bit of that creative energy in me. It gives me inspiration. It makes me think about the fabric that I own and maybe things that I want to do with it. And it helps me when I can't do anything in the sewing room. And so that's why my videos are the way they are. I chat a lot. I used to have a podcast. I love talking about sewing. I love sewing. I love shopping for sewing things. I love reading sewing books. And really all of that sewing is quilting related, but sometimes it's regular sewing because sometimes I want to make something that's like, I don't know, a dress, a washi dress, or a new scarf. I saw a video yesterday of a really fun scarf that I was like, ooh, I think I have fabric that I can make that. And those are the kind of things that lift me up when I don't feel good. And so that is why I'm chatty. I always am looking for a video that is longer than 20 minutes that I can put on in the background, put my headphones on, and sew. And it's kind of hard to find sometimes, because sometimes I think in today's day and age, there's an awful lot of people who make shorter videos because honestly, people have shorter attention spans and that's what they'll watch, and it helps boost their ratings on their channel. And speaking of channel, please drop a like if you're having fun watching this video, and please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me a ton. And I'm working towards monetizing this channel so that I can do more of it in the future. So that's my spiel. We're off the spiel now, but I am hoping that I will be able to give you some inspiration throughout 2026 where perhaps you don't have to necessarily finish a project, but make progress on a project, because every stitch counts. It all adds up eventually, because even if you only have 15 minutes a day to sew, you can get a lot done over the course of a few weeks. So join me in 2026. I know I've got a bunch of new members of my Patreon channel, which I will roll the credits at the end and drop all of our members, because I'm just so excited to have a group of like-minded people who also struggle with the same things that we struggle with, and maybe don't finish a ton, but together we can cheer each other on and, you know, make a nice little community. So, because I feel like that's the best side effect of having a YouTube channel, is creating this wonderful community of people that I've never met before, but now they're my friends. Every time they comment, I get so excited because I'm starting to recognize names and remember people's stories, and it really warms me inside. So here we go. I'm going to be working on my UFO trackers, making sure I've got all 28 projects. I don't think there are any more in here, but oh no, I just remembered one. Darn it. And I left a pen over there. So 29, my Alice in Wonderland quilt. I don't know how many blocks I've got done of that, but I actually for Christmas got the book. So I can actually finish that one. And so I'm going to have to add that one to the list, because that's a really fun project. If you don't know the Alice in Wonderland book, I'll drop a photo right here. And it was a project that I worked on for Keepsake Quilting, and it sold out like instantly. And so, because it was an amazing idea for a project, and the book was brand new. So now the book's a few years old. All the mistakes have hopefully been found in the book. I'm rambling. Anyway. One last thing that I want to mention is that part of the reason why I want to leave the UFO project sort of loose, beyond the fact that some days I can do certain tasks and other days I can't, is that I want to leave a little bit of space for the fun things. I don't want to spend an entire month dredging through a project that I want to finish but is frustrating me. And when I was setting up my room, I found so many things that I purchased, fabric that I bought, kits that I acquired. I have a ton of in the hoop projects like Kimberbell and Pickle Pie designs that are on my list to complete. And those are fun things. And some of those don't take very much time. And I feel like those will sort of help the sojo along, just like it happened at Christmas time, where finishing a bunch of small projects just gave me so much joy and happiness. So I want to leave things open for including that in my every month, because every finish gives you a sense of accomplishment. And sometimes some of these projects are sort of long, ongoing projects, and I know those will take some time. So if that makes sense to you and you can relate and connect to that, then join me in 2026 as we work on finishing our UFOs.